Welcome back to Aska in our lovely guide tutorial let's play thing that we're doing. So, last time we talked a lot about food and gathering food, and I dropped this. Oh, geez. Oh, God. And that was all fine and dandy. But today, we are going to be talking about probably something that the title tipped you off to, population and population growth. And something that I am going to be dubbing the population or the Great Expansion. And if I was a better YouTuber that had more time and more resources, I would have put a funny infographic on top of the screen, right above my head, that said "The Great Expansion" in a rainbow. But yeah, I don't have that kind of experience. So we're gonna work with what we have. I'm gonna eat some onion soup, and because that onion soup is not fresh, it's not gonna give us quite a bit of a buff. But that's fine. It's still fed us. Now, the Great Expansion is going to require some stuff, okay? Mainly, it's going to require us to have a lot of space for our new population coming in. And it's also going to require us to go hunt down a lot of Jotun blood. This is where you're going to bulk up the majority of our population for kind of almost the rest of the game. It is where you're going to get most of the population to feed your industries for better scheduling. So right now, most of the work is being done during the day. There's no work being done at night at all. And we kind of want to change that. We want to make sure that almost every station is working both day and night. That's going to make them more efficient. We want to try to get not only the barracks on not only have 3 people on the barracks, but also get an archery range and have 3 people on the archery range and schedule them out so that they're moving around in a way that we always have 2 people working each, the barracks and the archery range. And then eventually do that with every single one of the other ones. So the gathering station, the woodcutter's hut, the stonecutter's hut, the farm, especially the farm, because right now the farm is really having a struggle with just one person. If you add more plots, not only can I not do that right now because the space is kind of tight, but if you add more plots, one guy is going to have a hard time keeping up. Okay. And that's part of the reason why I haven't really added more plots for food, and I've just kept it to fiber, because fiber is right now the most important thing. So to make this a reality, to make this a possibility, we are going to need housing. And right now, housing is not great. We have 8 houses with 2 more on the way, and they occupy a lot of space, right? It's just not very efficient space-wise, not very efficient looks-wise, because it kind of looks like crap. Even though, you know, they work, but they're just not great. So we are going to be using these guys right here. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you what they look like. They're cottages. Little triangle cottages, okay? And they are going to allow you to create beds within them to house more people per housing unit, right? I typically go with a 6-bed setup. And to make a 6-bed setup work, we're going to need to get thatch for creating the beds inside. And that's something we'll work on later on. But that 6-bed setup is going to mean that instead of having 6 shelters in a circle, occupying a lot of space, not being very space efficient, we're going to have one big cottage holding a bunch of people in it. And the other thing we really want to work on, and probably what we will work on first, although it kind of seems a little silly, is the chieftain's house. The reason we want to work on the chieftain's house first is the chieftain's house is going to give us our own space to sleep in at all times. We don't have to worry about whether or not one of our shelters is being occupied by somebody. We don't have to deal with that. We will always have a space to sleep in, and it's going to give us something even bigger still. Normally, when we sleep, we get a buff. get a stamina buff. It's a pretty decent buff. It's not the greatest thing ever, but it's something, right? Well, the chieftain's house, as I get interrupted, the chieftain's house gives us an even bigger buff and an even longer buff. It is very, very good stamina buff. It is also a very, very good strength buff. So we really, really want to try to get that if we can. Where'd that guy go? I'm going to have to pay attention a little bit more to these smokers because they're trying to go around the edges. Now, if I would have been a smarter man on the first day of this guide, I would have picked maybe a different location to settle on that wasn't a big valley, because this is what it essentially is. But this allows us to make it work, right? I'm going to make it work. This is something we're going to just figure out. Now, like I said, I'm going to start with the chieftain's house. And we have to be careful where we place it. So originally I thought about placing it on the north side, but look at this guy. Inside our space. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. Our hunters are, or a hunter is having a bit of a struggle keeping pace with this. I was planning on doing it on the north side, kind of around here, but we have a bit of a situation on the north side. We have that thing over there. And actually, I would like for you not to chase that down, please. Because you're going to end up dying if you do. Okay, actually, yeah, you can chase it down that way. Let's get another stick. And so, putting stuff on the north side, probably not the best idea. It's going to put us pretty close to that spawner. And that spawner in particular is actually one that spawns things that are pretty dangerous. So what I'm going to end up doing is avoiding this side as much as possible. And one of the ways that I'm going to remember that I have a spawner there is by doing something that I actually should put on a short, honestly. So we're going to get decently close, not too close to attract attention by that guy. Because like I said, he's a pretty gnarly dude, right? Let's say about here. We're going to go ahead and grab a patrol marker. Put that down, and we're going to go ahead and build it really quick. We want to have the materials to do this as soon as we can. We definitely do not want our villagers coming over here because they will attract attention, okay? And then what we're going to do is we're going to mark this up. I don't know what the name of that monster is, unfortunately. It's not a Draugr, as far as I can tell. It's something else. Let's see if we can see it on our... no, we can't. We cannot see it here. So we're going to go ahead and rename. So if you ever wanted to rename anything, when you hit T to open its menu on the top left-hand side, you're going to get the little gear icon so that you can rename things. I'm going to put a Z first. Then I'm going to put monster. Once we know its name, we can actually name it. And then N for north. And then rename. Okay? Now what this is going to do is, when we open our map and we see this random patrol marker out here, oh, it's a monster to the north. There's a monster den to the north. Good to know. Now, the Z is going to be important later when we go back to the barracks, but this little tag here is going to make it so that we can tag the map, since there's currently no tagging system in the map. So we can tag the map and still know what's going on there. And it is a tag that, because it needs to be assigned in the barracks or in the archery range, our guys will not just go to it randomly, right? They're not going to go wander off and do something over there because there's no reason to. That's not part of what they're supposed to be doing. So it's not going to be an issue for us to be, for us to assign that or create that, because nobody's going to go over there unless we purposely tell them to. So let's go over here real quick. And so if we look at the barracks now, and we go to the patrol marker setup, if we add a patrol point, the only thing left is the Z monster north. Okay. Now the important part is if I had more patrol markers here, so if, for example, I were to, oh, I deleted that by accident. Well, I guess that gives us a chance to make a new one. We go main, we add a patrol point, barracks. We're going to give them 1 hour while training. Confirm. When we add more patrols, the this monster, because we put a Z in the front, it's going to kick it all the way to the end of the list. That way it's not constantly at the top. We're a lot less likely to assign it to a patrol point by accident, and it just stays out of the way, okay? Especially when you start adding more and more of those markers around the map, you really don't want them to be near the middle or top of the list, because it's going to get annoying to deal with, okay? So we're going to go ahead and create this list, seeing as I messed it up. And we're going to let this guy do his thing. Now we have 2 more structures. Apparently I'm going to have to help our hunter guy out, because he's struggling to keep these smokers at bay. So we got 2 more shelters. I don't have any more Jotun blood. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to assign, or I'm going to set up the chieftain's house. Okay. And I'm going to tag this, or pin it at the top so that it gets worked on first. And right next to the chieftain's house, I'm going to assign a cottage. And the hitboxes on these are a little bit deceiving. So don't be surprised if you're like, hey, this should be perfectly fine to line up. It doesn't. I think they should probably add a little bit of a box so that we can tell where these hitboxes are. So I have 2 structures down. I've pinned the chieftain's hut first. That way she'll work on the chieftain's hut first. If at any point in time she doesn't have the materials to work on the chieftain's hut, then she'll work on the regular cottage, okay? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go hunt down a bunch of Jotun blood, because we're going to need it to further expand. Unless we do that, we're really not going to get anywhere as far as expanding this village goes, right? Making the great expansion a possibility. So I will be back with you guys once the cottage and the chieftain's house is built. That way we can see what's going on in there. All right. So I'll see you then. Alrighty. And I'm coming back because I'm pretty sure, yep, that's a wolf's den there. I found a wolf's den. I find it interesting that I don't hear them yet. Kind of odd. But a wolf's den is going to be a good source of not only meat, but hides and bones. And if you are so inclined, is also going to be a good source of pups, if you want to go ahead and go through that whole process. Now, they don't normally go very, very far away from their dens. So as long as you keep your distance, they might come up to you, but they won't actually attack. Of course, gauging that distance is going to be unique for everybody. So how much you're willing to do. Look at how far this guy came, and then he goes back. That's actually one way that you can kind of bait them and kite them, is just kite one of them out and then go back. So wolf north. And so the little brown domes, those are their spawners. If you take out both of those spawners, you will get a Fenrir to spawn. And they're pretty easy to kite and pretty easy to just kind of fight around. Their windup is pretty long. So as long as you're kind of walking around them in a circle, they're not too difficult to deal with. But do keep in mind that if you let it go back to its nest or its den after you've put some damage into it, he will heal up. So you definitely want to keep the pressure on, that way he doesn't go and heal back up again. Let's go ahead and break some more of this Jotun. And yeah, we'll keep on going. See you in a bit. Oh, we got a new event incoming. Maybe the wolfers are upset that I was messing around with them. Always remember that you're going to know where they're coming from because of this icon, the invasion spawner, which is right in front of me. I need to sleep, though, if I'm going to fight these guys. Need the energy. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. They'll usually start attacking structures first. Just keep that in mind. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Can't get to him in here. This is not exactly a good spot for me to be in. I need him to come out of there. He's getting smacked around by the other guy. So, wolvers will make you bleed. That's important to note. That's kind of their thing, is making you bleed. Alright, so there we go. Both of those guys are down. So right now I'm bleeding, unfortunately. But I'm going to ahead and lay down and heal up a little bit. Getting a healing hut would probably be the best idea. That will allow us to cure some of these things and get our health back much, much faster. I will probably be making a healing hut once I have the cottages up. That way I can put it right like around here. It'll be near the center of the map, and it'll help out quite a bit. So anyway, we did get quite a bit of haul of young blood, as you can tell. So that's been good. Let's go ahead and open storage. Activate. Let's see who we're going to get. Tired bowman, chill sensitive. Probably not the best thing. By the way, this description is incorrect. Or not this one. There's another one. I think it's called Daylight Devotion. It's the description for the wisps, but they kind of put it on there by accident. So, a retired bowman, chill sensitive. Food is probably a cause for concern, so I'm going to go ahead and go this one. Where is our cart? Here it is. So we actually got quite a bit of stuff back from our expedition. He's already taken out the big rocks. So I'm going to go ahead and use this opportunity to put all this Jotun blood in here so it's not in my pocket. Right? Deposit. Deposit, 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 deposit. Okay. Alrighty. And yeah, so we're still working on those. Our woodcutter has been distracted with other things that's not logs. So that's part of the reason why we don't have any of the materials we need. So I'm going to go ahead and take down another one of these big trees. And yeah, see you in a bit. Alrighty, and we are back. It is autumn. So we have already changed seasons, okay, because it's 15 days in. So technically the crops that we would be planting would be completely different than what we currently would have had normally, right? So it's important to keep in mind that whenever the seasons change, you're going to have a crop change, okay? Some of the crops have more seasons than others. And I think looking at the seed, if I remember correctly, actually lets you know what that would be. So plant in the summer, if the tooltip would stay on, summer and autumn. We're going to plant this spring, summer, and autumn. This is only spring and summer. Cabbage is summer and autumn. So as things goes on, you'll remember which ones are which. Garlic is spring, summer, and autumn. So a lot of these guys are not going to grow in the winter. Beetroot, if I remember correctly, is the only thing that really grows in the winter. And now that the chieftain's house is done, I get to show you what exactly it is that's going to do for us. So let's go in here. Go ahead and sleep on this thatch bed. And our healing bonus is going to be much better. So as you can see, you can actually see the bar going up, whereas when you slept in the shelter, it didn't really go up that fast. And we're also going to get a new buff. And that buff is well rested, but it's called the same thing, but the icon's different. And that icon is what I'm looking for, right? This well rested buff, the stamina buff is much higher, the strength buff is much higher. So keep that in mind. Where did our lovely friend here go? So you're going to notice that I can run for a lot longer. It just continues. It just continues. And actually, I'm going to drop you. And there we go. This is something I normally couldn't do. And down he goes. Chasing down those guys like that would have been kind of a big pain in the butt normally, but as you can tell, it just worked. You were good. I'm gonna tag this next. And something that I probably haven't talked about is harvesting your monster corpses are actually a good idea. So oftentimes these guys are going to drop a lot of the things that you're going to need for getting some progress done. So you'll get bones, or the whites are specifically good for getting Jotun blood every once in a while. Skeletons are just going to drop a crap ton of bones, and they have a chance to drop metal. So harvesting the enemy corpses is a good idea. Sometimes you'll get some good stuff out of them. I've let these guys sit here because the chance of me getting Jotun blood out of them is not very good. But corpses do not deteriorate, so leaving them behind is not, it's not a bad thing, right? It's just not gonna do anything for you. It's gonna, you're gonna have a ugly corpse just sitting there on the ground. I'm gonna go ahead and collect these bone fragments. Those bone fragments are good for making the some of the better tools, or sorry, some of the better weapons. And I'll dump them off here in the oh, this is full actually. We have way too much meat. Means we're gonna have to go crazy cooking, or put the next guy to cook. Look at all this fiber. You see that? From this farm, all that fiber, amazing. Amazing. Now, normally, by this time, I would be talking about the possibility of going ahead and expanding our workshop here to add the weaver's hut so that we can turn bark into fiber. But because we set up that farm so early on, we are not going to have to do that. So I can go ahead and open the expansions menu here, add a weaver. We still need the weaver. Just as an FYI, just to make sure that, you know, we make that very clear. But we're not going to need the weaver for what I normally created him for, which is to create fiber from bark. So that is going to be great. Now, I'm going to attempt to finish the cottage. That way we can see the inside of the cottage. I can show you how expansions on that work, how you can add more beds, and we can top off the great expansion episode, as it were, right? The great population boon. We have already gained an extra villager, so we're definitely on the right path. We don't have any homeless people currently, but we will soon. So it's something that we definitely want to take a hold of it and get ready for. But yeah, not having to worry about fiber is such a great thing. It's amazing. I'm going to go ahead and grab these rocks for doing this work. Do we have a big log here? We do. I am sorry. I know you're coming over here to grab that log, but I'm going to be more efficient than you by going ahead and doing this. Sometimes I do wish that these guys could use the carts or the sleds, because I think that would make their lives so much easier. The rope I don't have. I hope you have the rope. Sorry about that. It's probably looking at us like, oh, that's nice. Yeah, I guess you took care of that for us. So she's going to go ahead and get the rope. Something I've done is, at night, I've gone through and I've literally taken as much of the extraneous or tools that these guys don't need. Every guy is going to spawn in with a hammer, with a axe, and with a hoe. I've taken all the axes and I've dropped them by the fire, because the small axes are currently not something that we use a lot. And anytime I get a chance, I'll grab one and use it for other stuff. Like, for example, I come over here and I go ahead and take down some young firs. That way I can go ahead and get rid of that axe. I've also been trying to use the axe for combat. The more I use it, the more likely it's going to break. I get some use out of the axe, and it doesn't sit in people's inventories. I don't want axes or unused axes sitting in people's inventories, because then they won't carry as much stuff, right? So I want to try to avoid that. And I'm going to go ahead and eat this meat soup. That's going to increase our strength. And let's go over here and maybe break this hammer, building the structure finally. So yeah, I'll be back in a bit. Righty. now that mostly everybody is sleeping, I thought it'd be a good time to talk about scheduling. And the two types of scheduling that I use, or that I've kind of come up with to make my life easier, right? So as of right now, this guy is stashing a bunch of berries and all of our arrows because he's our hunter, and hunters do that right now. Don't know why. As of right now, I have two separate ways of doing scheduling because of the way that structures work. So I have the day and night scheduling, and the way I have that set up is something that I've kind of, as I've kept playing the game on and off, and in different ways of playing the game, like on stream and co-op and all that good stuff, I've come up with a bunch of different ways, and I've kind of refined things over the time. Okay. Now, currently right now, this would be what I would consider a daytime shift. Okay. So I'm going to call it day. And of course this thing breaks when you do that sometimes. So day. All right. This is a daytime shift. That's what this is, right? Now, there's also the nighttime shift. So he's going to work here. So 4, 5, 6, 1 hour of leisure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 hour of leisure. Okay. And then everything else in between is sleep. Okay. So this would be night. Right. And you're going to notice that there's daytime, or there's nighttime, there's daytime, right? They almost work to never have a downtime. If you have two people working at a structure, there'll be very, very small gaps of time when they're not working together, right? Or they're not working in tandem, one after another. So this guy is going to be a daytime guy. I'm going to keep him as a daytime guy, just because he doesn't have any kind of buffs for staying awake at night. Oh, he does, actually. So he's a good candidate for actually load up, nighttime, apply. That might be one of the reasons why he's upset. He's been working during the day rather than at night. And working at night during the day for him is kind of not great. Okay. So let's go ahead and move on to you. We're going to look and see, what do you have on you? You just have some mushrooms here. I'm going to take those. I'm going to eat one, give you back the other one. He's our stone cutter. He has tireless vitality. So he's just very good at using sleep. Okay. But he's a daytime worker, right? And actually, let's get rid of this quote unquote shift 1. Okay. Now, the other scheduling way that I have to do things is when a structure can have 3 people. For example, the barracks is an example of something that early on can have 3 people. That's what this is right here. Right? You get 3 people as part of the structure's base. A lot of the pits do not have that by standard. So, for example, the Gatherer's Hut, even though it's level 2, it can only handle 2 people. Once you level it up one more time, you're going to see in the description, can assign 3 workers. And so, the way that the 3-shift system works is, if we open up this villager here, we're going to create it. So, the 3-shift system works almost exactly the same as this. So, this would be shift 1, essentially. Then we would have a shift 2. 3, 4, 5, 6. Leisure, sleep. Okay. And this would be shift 2. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours, right? And then everything else is the same. They wake up, get a little bit of leisure. In between, they get a little bit of leisure. And at the end of the day, they get a decent amount of leisure, right? So the same thing. And let's call this create shift 2. Right? And then we have shift 3. So shift 3, the only thing that changes is, instead of being here, we're going to go here. I'm going to add leisure at the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh. There we go. Okay. And this would be shift 3. And it would be nice if you would write. Thank you. All right. And now what that's going to do is it's going to include coverage all across the day. And it's also going to make it so that in every single one of these 6-hour blocks, there's always 2 people working. Okay? It's hard to visualize here because we're only seeing this schedule. No, we're not applying that yet. Okay? So let's open this up here, and I'll actually show you so you can see it visually by scheduling people differently. So I'm going to go into here. I'm going to... Where's it? Down here. I'm going to schedule you for... excuse me. Shift 2. Apply. And we'll go back. And we will schedule Ira for shift 3. And we'll put them back after, because this is not what they're going to stay at. Okay. So now what you're going to notice is, now that we can see all 3 schedules at the same time, is there's 2 here, right? So we'll always have 2 in this block. When you move on to the next one, there's 2 in this block. And then when you move on to the final one, there's going to be 2 in this block. Okay. There's always enough people working at all times. And their sleep schedules is a little staggered. And I'm pretty sure I did this correctly. Let's make sure that I did by checking the shifts again. But that's going to mean that every station, once you get to a 3 people per station, will always have at least 2 people working at all times, 24/7. And it's going to make it way, way more efficient. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and let these guys do their thing. Let them go to work. And we have just a couple little bits left here for finishing up that cottage. So I'm going to go ahead and get the bark that I need for it and finish up the... Oh, well, that's good. I'm trying to break these guys down, so... We'll finish it up here with you guys, because once that's done, we're gonna be finished. Okay. The other thing too is, if you want to assign people to jobs, which 2 and 3, you can do that from this menu here by clicking on the structures. Right. You don't have to go physically over to the area. That's going to help you massively, by the way. So just keep that in mind. Also, because of the fact that we are growing fibers now, I have reduced the allocation of trying to gather bark. We don't need as much bark anymore. So I've turned that off. They're all at medium now. That way he continues to gather materials at an even pace. Okay. Go ahead and break one hammer first before you go to another, please. Oh, and we need some rope. I have the rope that we need. That's for the door, by the way. The door needs to be completed. Do you need some sticks? Are you one of our builders? You are. Do you have all the sticks on you, Matilda? I think I have a Matilda and another one of my series that is also doing some work. Now you're also going to notice that stuff is starting to break. And these get these little piles behind it. These are repair sites. Repair sites are something that's going to show up on your structures over time. Because the rain and them being the environment and stuff like that is going to make things break over time. Now, we finally have our cottage. You're going to notice if we manage the house, we have 2 sleeping spots. Like, hey, I mean, 2 sleeping spots is better than 1 sleeping spot on the shelter, but that's not really what I was expecting. Well, the reason why it only has 2 sleeping spots is because currently inside it only has 2 beds. But if we go open our building menu, we go to interior structures, which is what this is, right? Furniture. And we hit thatch beds. We can now put down thatch beds. Okay. And now, technically, you could pack the crap out of this cottage very, very effectively. And I might actually do that because I want to test to see if there's going to be any issues doing that with them sleeping here. So you can pack the crap out of this cottage and put a lot of people inside it. I tend not to do that. I usually just go for 6 beds. But this time I want to see what happens if I add... Oh, the fireplace is causing a bit of a clipping issue here. So let's move it just a little bit forward. Okay, so I'm going to add 8 beds. And let's see, do they get upset if we have 8 beds? Do they not get upset? I've never tried it, so I am unsure. And the other thing that I always add is a firewood storage in here. That way, if they get cold during the night, because the fire went out, they can just grab the fire from here. They don't have to go anywhere else to do that. Right? Now, these beds are expensive. Okay? Not only do they need sticks, but they need 8 thatch each. Okay? Each. Now, remember, we don't have a lot of space here in our inventory to carry thatch. Okay? Thatch ends up being a medium item. So to be effective at carrying thatch, we would have to literally dump a bunch of our stuff off just to make that happen. You can take the sled too, but again, not as much materials going on there. Something tells me these guys have been eating our meat, which is not great. The other thing I want to work on now too is actually focusing on getting this done. Part of the reason for that is having the weaver's hut is important because it's going to allow me to start building clothes for these guys, or to start getting clothes ready for these guys. I'm going to go ahead and manage. We're going to add Finya onto this, and we're going to add another person here who is in this hut. Okay. Who is in this one? Einar. Ake and Einar are in this hut. They're currently sleeping, but it's fine. They'll be okay if I take them out. So, we're going to go here, and we're going to add... Where is... Okay, here we go. Okay. Okay. We're going to assign him there, and he'll come out from there, and he'll come over here, and he'll lay back down again. All right? Now, also, I do not have a patrol marker here. So I'm going to go ahead and set down a patrol marker, which I believe this should be enough to patrol both of those. So we'll put it there. And we're going to come over here to hopefully what is Ake's house. And they've built it already. So let's put Einar here. Einar. Assign her there. That's going to allow me to just go ahead and dismantle this. That way we're not wasting resources trying to fix a structure that's... It's kind of past its prime, right? It's due. It's gone. We can go ahead and let it go. Now, the other thing that I wanted to do was try to see if we can sneak in a field somewhere around here. So we can start planting other crops. Because just fiber... And we just have just enough space to make it happen. That is awesome. Drill marker is built. What is the range on this? That's good. That's good. All right, let's add it to our barracks. Another thing to note is you probably want to continuously be bringing guys down. I have not been paying attention to that because I'm recording a video at the same time as I'm doing this. So my inexperience means that I have a hard time managing multiple things at the same time. Where is my cart? Well, it's probably not the best place for this cart with a bunch of stuff that's very important. Alright, that's 5. We'll call down another person. And we actually want to start working on building our nighttime crew. So actually, this is, oh my god, talking about building up our nighttime crew, and I was just about to talk about doing it for the barracks. What an incredible find right off the bat. So Night Shadow with Stout Constitution is great. Hopefully she gets some more strength perks when she comes in. She will be one of our nighttime patrols. So I believe that we already have another nighttime patrol. Let me see. Are you also a nighttime guy? Yes. So what this is going to do for us is we'll be able to set up shift 2 and shift 3. They won't have any debuffs for being at night and only a slight debuff for being working during the day. It's going to be halfway through there. And then that'll make it easier to find our daytime person. Daytime people are super easy to find. They're pretty common because it's just basically everybody that doesn't have a nighttime perk. So I definitely wanted to work on that first. Now, if you're wondering where you get thatch, thatch comes from the reeds out on the beach. So that's something that I'm going to have to go out there and... Oh, wolf, monsters. That's something that I'm going to have to go out to the beach and gather myself. You can put markers down there, but it's a very far way for them to walk to try to get thatch. And that marker is going to be very much used up almost immediately. Because thatch, as far as I know, does not grow. Or regrow, rather. Okay? So, not really worth it, in my opinion. Right? But yeah, that'll do it for today. We've done some expansion work. We've gotten some people in. We've talked about the scheduling. We have shown the cottage. So the cottage, if you sleep in the cottage, you're going to get almost the same exact buff as you would in sleeping in the shelter. You really do want to be sleeping in the chief's hut. The buff is so great. It lasts a really long time. Pretty sure it lasts almost half a day. So definitely, if you can, get yourself into that more than anything else. Okay. One of the things that I'm going to do is I'm going to switch this priority here to get logs as high, because logs are going to mean that we also get everything else that we need, because she's been kind of lacking on everything else because everything's even. But if we ask her to get logs, she's going to cut down big trees. That's going to give us sticks, barks, everything else that we need. So, but yeah, that about does it for today. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments. If you have any more suggestions, one of you guys had suggested that I carve up those monster corpses because they give you materials, which is why I talked about it. Also, one of you guys had talked about the healing effects of eating food and the fact that they're additive. So if you eat two different foods that have a healing effect, they will add together to be a longer healing effect. So that's also something to note. And one of you guys had mentioned about, going here to assign people into your task rather than walking up to the place to assign people. That's also a very, very good point. Okay. So if you guys have any questions, any more suggestions, anything going on, please definitely put them in the comments. Let me know what it is that you want to see explained in more detail, and I'll go ahead and try to do that in the next one. So I'm going to go ahead and assign, not beetroot, because we'll be able to do beetroot. Garlic is not a winter crop. So I'm going to put garlic, and I'm going to put onions. These are both not winter crops, but they're really important for the winter. So I'm going to go ahead and assign those, and these guys are going to get started. Okay. But yeah, anyway. Go away. Thank you. Where are you going with that big log, ma'am? What are you doing? Did you just go to sleep with a... She just went to sleep with a big log in her hand. Also, what? Oh, she's been working nonstop. And I'm pretty sure I have her as a night crew. Oh no, she's default right now. Are you a night crew? You weren't. But you need some rest. For sure. I've been working the crap out of this poor lady. Let's go ahead and load you as a daytime. I'm going to apply it. But, yeah, go ahead and sleep. You're good. I would have hoped that you would have made it to your bed, but unfortunately that did not happen. Hey, look, and we have our weaver's hut up now. Let's go ahead and look at what we can do here. So the weaver's hut is going to allow us to craft linen and linen thread, which is great because that's going to allow us to create some clothes. And so we'll talk about the clothes and getting the leather hut up, which I'm actually going to go ahead and expand this really quick just so that we can get started on that. It's a big building. Okay, I'm going to put that down. That way they can get started on that because we'll need that to cure leather and to be able to make some of these higher tier clothes, right? So the thick linen shirt needs cured leather hide, and we can only do that with that extension to the workshop. But yeah, that'll be it for today. Oh, we got a blood moon. A little bit of excitement before we go to bed. I have no sleep in me, so I'm going to go sleep really quick. It's probably going to be skeletons if I hazard a guess. Most likely. I do have to add this patrol marker. I completely forgot about that. I have to add that patrol marker, the one for the houses, onto that patrol. But they're currently beating on stuff, so I need to go over there and help. Oh yeah, fence is under attack by a skeleton. Let's go. These fences, yeah, these fences are not designed to stop people from coming in here, so. The blocking is a little aggressive, in my opinion. Oh, we got a white. Hi. All right, there goes the white. And you, my man, were not here when I needed you to be. So they've killed my fence. My beautiful, beautiful fence. And you can just hit rebuild and your guys will rebuild it. It's going to cost some material still. But it won't cost, you know, the standard amount of materials that you paid for in the beginning. I think it's half, if I remember correctly. Or you can just get those materials back. And harvest these guys while I'm here, waiting for them. But yeah, that's about all the excitement I'm going to put in this video. I will see you guys next time with some more stuff to guide you in. All right. Catch you later. Bye.